It's me, Timmy Flyersguy, and welcome to the Flyersguys Top 10. This is the first official episode of my new series. In today's episode, I am going to talk about my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I don't have any clips or any audio of the movies because of copyright reasons, but I will explain what my top 10 favorite movies are. At number 10, Step Brothers. For those of you who don't know, Step Brothers is a movie starring Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly playing Step Brothers. The premise of the movie is their parents end up getting married and they become stepbrothers that live with each other. Kind of reminds you of The Odd Couple a little bit. Step Brothers is a story of Dale and Brennan, two stepbrothers living together. At first they don't get along, but then they start getting along really good. I really enjoyed this movie. Really thought it was great. It was hilarious. A lot of funny scenes in this movie. Probably one of my favorite comedy movies. If you haven't seen Step Brothers, then I suggest you go see Step Brothers. You watch Step Brothers, because that is a great movie and one of my favorite movies as well. It's got great laughs. If you want to laugh, it's a great movie to watch if you want to get a good laugh in. So I suggest you watch it. Just a warning to everybody, if you haven't seen these movies yet, do not watch this video. Number 9. My number 9 favorite movie, I would have to say, my number 9 favorite movie it's a guilty pleasure of mine, Pretty in Pink. Yes, I watched this movie, and I really enjoyed it. Molly Ringwald is great. John Cryer, amazing as the character Ducky. This is a great movie about a young girl named Andy who lives in a very, I would say, middle-class neighborhood. Very basic neighborhood. Lives right near the train tracks. Very pretty girl, though. Her dad is an out-of-work father. And let's get into the story. Pretty in Pink is a story about a young girl named Andy, who is 16 years old. She wants to find a date for her first high school prom. There's one thing that's in her way. Her very protective friend, Ducky, who is a very good friend of hers, also has a very huge crush on Andy as well. And we can see that in the movie. Ducky comes off as very annoying, very clingy, but he means well. Pretty in Pink is a great movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I really enjoyed watching this movie, and whenever I feel like watching it again, I'll watch it because I really enjoyed the whole premise of Andy being a girl that lives on the other side of the tracks. She has a father that's out of work, and she's embarrassed of her home life. She doesn't want anybody to find out where she lives, and you really feel for her. And Ducky, I kind of feel bad for him because I've been that guy who's been friends with a girl, been friends with a really pretty girl. So I've been there, and I know what it's like. It's tough, but if you haven't seen this movie, I suggest you check out Pretty in Pink. My number 8 pick would have to be, I'm going to go with Anger Management. Anger Management is a comedy movie starring Adam Sandler, Jack Nicholson, and Marissa Tomei. Also starring Louise Guzman, and that guy who was in Transformers. I forget what his name out. John Turturro. Anger Management is a story about Dave Bosnick. It's about a guy named Dave Bosnick who unwittingly has a lot of anger issues that he doesn't know about. It starts out when he's on the airplane. He meets Jack Nicholson, but he doesn't know who he is yet. So Jack Nicholson plays a psychiatrist named Buddy Rodell. Adam Sandler plays Dave Bosnick. Marissa Tomei plays Dave's girlfriend. So in anger management, Dave is a guy who has a lot of anger issues, but he won't admit it. He doesn't think he has anger issues. But his real problem is that he has trouble really speaking up and really sticking up for himself. So the movie begins. He's on an airplane. They think he's getting angry. The stewardess comes to start calm down. And then he gets tased by the air marshal. We go to a scene where his girlfriend thinks that he should see a therapist. So he goes to see a therapist. He goes to see Buddy Rydell. When he sees Buddy Rydell, he realizes he recognizes him from the plane before. So he's taking some anger lessons. He thinks he doesn't have any problems. So Buddy Rydell tries to get it out of him. It doesn't work. Dave gets annoyed. And Buddy Rydell agrees to live with Dave to try to help him with his problems. So, a lot of things happen in this movie. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but you guys gotta see Anger Management. It's a great movie, Jack Nicholson. Good star-studded cast. Jack Nicholson, Adam Sandler, Marissa Tomei, Louise Guzman, John Turturro. It's a great movie, so make sure you check out Anger Management. My number 7 pick would have to be the first Karate Kid movie. Yes, the first Karate Kid movie, not the second, not the third one, but the first. Because in my opinion, the first Karate Kid movie is an absolute classic, and one of my favorites. Karate Kid is the story about a young kid named Daniel LaRusso who lived in New Jersey and then moves to California with his mother. They live in an apartment, and the maintenance man is played by Pat Morita, who later is Mr. Miyagi in the movie. So Karate Kid starts out. Daniel doesn't want to move to California. He moves to California. At first he lies about knowing karate in the movie. We get to a scene where he's on the beach, and he meets this girl, Allie. They're hanging out, and then Johnny Lawrence and the members of Johnny Lawrence and Cobra Kai show up, and Johnny gets jealous, goes up to Daniel and says, "Hey, why are you talking to my girl?" So Daniel gets in a fight with him. Daniel loses badly, ends up getting hurt really bad. He goes home. He decides, he asks his mom, "I think I should take karate classes." So he goes to his dojo, Cobra Kai dojo. He shows up there, and we see one of the main villains, Mr. John Kreese, the sensei of Cobra Kai dojo. Daniel Russo walks in. He opens the door. He sees Johnny Lawrence there. He leaves. Then we get to a scene where it's Halloween night. He's in a costume party with Allie. He pulls a few pranks on Johnny and his gang. They chase after Daniel, and they're just pummeling Daniel until an old man comes by. But let's not take the old man. But he comes to help Daniel out. Mr. Miyagi kicks all their asses. Daniel asks him to train him in karate. Mr. Miyagi agrees, and Daniel is trained by Mr. Miyagi. In a way, this movie, in my opinion, is just like the movie Rocky. We got the old teacher teaching a young man how to be better at karate or whatever he does. This movie really touched my heart in a way. It really spoke to me because I myself feel like the underdog sometimes. And this movie teaches us that no matter what, we can rise above all of it, even if we're the underdog. And that's why I love this movie. So if you haven't seen Karate Kid, I suggest you see it because this movie is a classic. Ralph Macchio's best work. Pat Morita's best work. And Elizabeth Shue was pretty good as Allie as well. Now my number 6 pick, Dead Poets Society. Yes, Dead Poets Society. I really enjoyed this movie. A friend of mine suggested I watch this movie, and I loved it. It's a great movie. Robin Williams is in it. Kurtwood Smith is in it. You guys know who Kurtwood Smith is? He's the dad in that 70s show. This was a great movie. Dead Poets Society is. This is probably one of Robin Williams' best films, in my opinion. And it's one of my favorites. So, Dead Poets Society is a story about a teacher at a private school who is very unorthodox with his teaching methods, but a lot of the students really like him. They really think he's a great teacher. And he really teaches these kids a lot about life and how to be better people in life as well. The premise of the story is some of the parents don't like his teaching methods, and they try to get him fired. One of the people who doesn't like his teaching methods is one of the fathers, played by Kurtwood Smith. He doesn't like the fact that his son is doing Shakespeare plays. And he starts to think that maybe his son's not really a man. So we get into the movie. The teacher ends up getting fired, but the students fight their asses off to get him back in the classroom. This is a great movie. And a movie that's really simplistic. A movie that really has a lot of substance. And there's a lot of beauty to it too. It's a great movie. So check out Dead Poets Society. Robin Williams' best film. I really enjoyed this movie, and I know you'll probably enjoy it too. Now we get to number 5. And I know some of you may judge me for this choice, but I'm gonna have to go with, I know a lot of people give a bad review of this movie. But to tell you the truth, I kinda like this movie. And you have a right to your opinion, but this is one of my favorite movies. And I have to tell you why. So number 5, my number 5 favorite movie of all time, Ready to Rumble. Starring David Arquette, Scott Conn, Oliver Platt. Starring Scott Conn, David Arquette, and Oliver Platt. And for those who don't know, Ready to Rumble was a movie made by WCW. Now, Ready to Rumble is a story about 2 hardcore wrestling fans who are big fans of their favorite wrestler, Jimmy King. The story, the story is these two kids are they're very obsessed with wrestling. They love wrestling. So the story is they go to see their favorite wrestler, Jimmy King, wrestle on an episode of WCW Monday Nitro in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Jimmy received some backstage stuff as the evil promoter, Titus Sinclair, tells John Giles Page, Jimmy King's opponent, to change the finish. Jimmy King arrives late DDP, and Jimmy King agree to keep the finish the way it is. But Don Giles Page has a change of heart. He viciously goes off script and attacks Jimmy King. He viciously beats up Jimmy King in this match. And all of a sudden, some people come to help out Jimmy King. Turns out it was a trap. Jimmy King gets destroyed in that ring. The two characters, Gordy and Sean, played by Scott Kahn and David Arquette Distraught, they are so unhappy. So they agree to find Jimmy King. They find him, and Jimmy King does not look too good. He's afraid, he's paranoid, and he's hiding out in the trailer park. And the movie is basically these two kids want to try to get Jimmy King back in the ring, back to his prime. So they decide to train Jimmy King so we can get a rematch against Don Giles Page. Honestly, this is a great movie. I like this movie. I know it gets a lot of bad reviews, but it's one of my favorite movies. I think that Oliver Platt played a great character in Jimmy King. Let's not forget that Michael Landon is also in this movie, as well as Sal Bandini, an old man who trains Jimmy King. He's pretty entertaining, and I laugh every time I see him on screen. And there are some pretty entertaining scenes in this movie. Say what you want about this being a bad movie. It may be a bad movie, but I kind of liked it. And I thought it was a great movie when I first watched it. And I usually watch it again and again. I'll watch it again whenever I get a chance. I really enjoyed this movie. And if you want to see it, check it out. It's probably most likely on YouTube. That's probably. And now we get to my number 4 pick, the first Beethoven movie. No, not Beethoven the composer, Beethoven the St. Bernard. Beethoven is a story of a St. Bernard named Beethoven, although that's not his name at first. In this movie stars Charles Grodin as George Newton, Bonnie Hunt as the wife, Nicole Tom as Rice Newton, the kid from Step by Step with the glasses as his son, and the little girl from Kindergarten Cop. Oliver Platt and Stanley Tucci are also in this movie, playing two villain characters. And also, let's not forget Dean Jones as well as the main villain. So Beethoven starts out. Beethoven's in a pet store. And then at night, these two guys break in. Two guys played by Oliver Platt and Stanley Tucci. They break in. They steal all the dogs. The dogs are in the back of the truck. Beethoven and all the dogs escape. And then we cut to The morning time Beethoven wakes up, he's attacked. He's scared of a cat. He gets attacked by a cat. He walks into the Newton household. Crawls into the bed with the youngest child. She picks the dog up. The wife walks in and the little girl goes, "Can we name him Fred?" So she picks the dog up. George Newton comes in and he is livid. And they think that he got him a puppy. Well, George is like, no. We can't have this dog in this house. They drool, they spit, they drool, they lay, they chew everything, they destroy everything. No. So the kids beg and plead, they beg and plead. And finally George Newton breaks down and says, "Okay, we better come up with a name so I know what to call it." So they're trying to think. And the little girl plays the piano. And the George Newton's like, "Beethoven." So, Beethoven's a little puppy. He destroys everything in the Newton household. George loses his shit. And he cannot handle Beethoven. And then Beethoven gets bigger. But Beethoven, he may be a destructive dog, but he truly means well in all of his scenes. And we get introduced to the main villain, Dr. Henry Varnick, a veterinarian, but he's not just a veterinarian. He's also a criminal. So we take Beethoven to the vet. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You're just going to have to see the movie for yourself to see the full ending of the movie. It's a great movie. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was one of my absolute favorite movies. I watched it a lot when I was a kid. I know people say, hey, it's a kid's movie, it's a family movie. But it is a funny movie. There are some comedic moments in the movie. And Charles Grodin is a great actor. And he plays the role of George Newton well. And it was a great movie. I really enjoyed every bit of it. Now we get to my number three. My number three pick. And that is my number three pick. The Fundamentals of Caring. If you haven't seen this movie yet, it is on Netflix. The Fundamentals of Caring is a movie about a guy named Paul Rudd. His backstory is his son got hit by a car when they were taking groceries in. We cut to the movie where he's trying to find a job. And the thing is, he has to pay child support for his wife, who's still alive and still stalking him and trying to find out where he's living. So, we get to the Fundamentals of Caring. And it's a story about a young man with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So, Paul Rudd plays his nurse in the movie, and I gotta tell you, the kid in that movie, he was a ballbuster, and it was absolutely hilarious some of the time. So, we get into the story about the kid with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. His nurse comes over, and he finds out that all this kid does is watch TV, and he never goes anywhere. So him and Paul Rudd, him and his nurse, decide to go on a road trip to see all the amazing sights of the United States. So a lot of things ensue. There are times when him and the nurse butt heads at times. But he really cares about him, and he really cares about the kid. So we get into the movie, and we are introduced to another character played by Selena Gomez, who was the young girl trying to hitchhike across town. Her father is looking for her. The kid with the shed muscular dystrophy seems to have a crush on her, and we see a bit of a romance between the two characters. And we learn that the kid with muscular dystrophy, his father was kind of an asshole, and he didn't pay child support to his mother, and it's a sad scene. But, you know, he had Paul Rudd helping him out being this movie. I really enjoyed this movie because I myself have the shed muscular dystrophy, and this movie really spoke to me. And it really showed me how caring a lot of the nurses are in the nursing community. And I really thought this was a great movie. Paul Rudd played a great role in this movie, and it was one of my favorite movies. So, if you haven't checked out The Fundamentals of Caring, I suggest you check it out. It might still be on Netflix. I'm not sure about that. And my number 2 pick, Forrest Gump, starring Tom Hanks, Robin Wright, Gary Sinise, Sally Field, and the guy from WKRP in Cincinnati as Bubba. Forrest Gump is a great movie. One of Tom Hanks' best movies. If you haven't seen Forrest Gump is about a man named Forrest Gump. It's sort of a coming of age story. It starts out when Forrest is a little kid. He has some braces on his legs. And we got to a part where his first day at school, and he can't find a place to sit on the bus, so he meets Jenny, a girl that he falls in love with. So Forrest Gump is a story about a man who experiences many historic events in the United States. He also ends up fighting in Vietnam. He's on the Ed Sullivan Show. This is a great movie, and it really has some substance to it. I remember watching this movie back in 1994. I was like 8 years old. I didn't really understand what the movie was about. But once I got older, I started understanding how great this movie was. And how much work Tom Hanks put into this movie. It is one of my favorite Tom Hanks movies. And I really enjoyed this movie. Sally Field plays Forrest Gump's mother. Gary Sinise plays Lieutenant Dan, and the guy from WKRP in Cincinnati plays Bubba. And Jenny is played by Robin Wright. Now, I really like this movie, and here's why. Because it explains how Forrest Gump grew up, and how he had to get through life, and how positive he was during everything that happened to him in his life. He always had a smile on his face, and he always had a dream in his heart. And that's why I like this movie, and why it's one of my favorite movies. And now we get to my number 1 favorite movie of all time, and that movie is Rain Man. Rain Man is the story of 2 brothers, Charlie and Raymond Babbitt. Raymond Babbitt turns out to be autistic. The movie is about Charlie Babbitt. It starts out that his father died. He gets a call to go to the funeral to see his dad. He gets the will. When he gets the will, he gets a car and rose bushes. His brother Raymond gets $3,000. Gets $3 million. So, Charlie devises a plan to go to the institution that his father left. We find out that Charlie never knew that he had a brother. So at first, Charlie wants to be very spiteful of his dad. He goes to the institution where his brother Raymond's at. And he doesn't kidnap him, but he takes him out of the institution. And they go to a trip to LA. A road trip to LA. And a lot of things happen. Charlie's played by Tom Hanks and Raymond is played by Dustin Hoffman. So we get to the part where we go on a road trip. It turns out Raymond is not quite all there. He's a bit autistic, but he's very smart as well. And there are a lot of things that he fixates on. Eating with toothpicks, a specified schedule that he has, and the fact that he can't miss an episode of People's Court, Jeopardy, or Wheel of Fortune. So Raymond has some quirks to him. We get to the part where they get into the airport, and Raymond does not want to get on the airplane. Raymond throws a fit, and Charlie says, "Okay, we're going to drive to LA." Charlie's pretty pissed. But as you can see in the movie, Charlie and Raymond really start hitting it off, and they start getting along. Especially when they get to Vegas. They start to have some tender moments between brothers. Honestly, this is a great movie. And it shows that it really makes you think. Because doctors just thought of Raymond as a patient. But Charlie treated Raymond like he was a human being. And he was compassionate towards Raymond. He loved his brother. And that's what this movie's about. It's about compassion. And it's about it's about treating others the way you want to be treated. And that's why I like this movie. And that's why Rain Man is my #1 favorite movie. If you haven't seen it yet, it is on HBO Max. And it's a great movie. Tom Cruise was excellent in this movie. Dustin Hoffman was amazing as well. And I just gotta give this movie 5 stars because, my God, the movie it's just a classic. It's a work of art. It's a cinematic work of art, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So that's my top 10 favorite movies, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this new series, the Flyersguys Top 10. I'll see you in the next episode. I don't know what the next episode will be, but you'll find out. I'm Timmy Flyersguy, and thank you for joining me on this episode of the Flyersguys Top 10. Thank you and have a good evening, everyone. If there's a movie that's not on this list, if there's a movie that I didn't put on this list, please leave it in the comment section and tell me why this is a great movie. If you have any movie suggestions for me to watch, please leave it in the comment section. Thank you and have a great day, everyone. Shh.